So what we've seen here is that how to display the catalog so the content is displayed in an ordered manner. If you look inside the print catalog function, we just look through the list and we display the content of each list starting from the first list in the hash array inside. Now we want to find a way to display it in an ordered way. So we can add some additional fields. Um, so we can store or have a global list that store all the products, but this time in a list in an ordered way. So let's go back here and we want to add some additional fields, and the field's name will be, so these fields, the underscore next, underscore previous, these are the fields for um, the list inside the hash tables. But now we want to add some other fields for, let's say, the global list. I'm gonna call it like that. So this will be the field for the global list, and the global list name will be, let's say, struct. I do think these previous fields we might not even need it yet. We might not need it, but I'm gonna just say struct product type, struct product. Then I'm gonna say G next. So this is a field for the global list. And now this global list, the head will be defined inside the catalog uh, uh, struct. I'm gonna declare another variable. These are, let's say, fields for hash table. And here, I'm gonna say this is fields for global list. So this global list, I'm gonna call it J list. So this is the list that contain all the elements for uh, it is a list of all the products. But this time, since we're about to add this capability on our data structure, so we just needed to add an additional field to support that. So the way a product is now created change. So when we create a product, where it is, and the new product function. So this G next field is going to change and be set to null. So this is the field for the global list. Then when we add a product, or when we create a new product, or this field is set to null, then let's go back. When you create a new catalog, we also have to set this G list to null. So new catalog. I'm going to reduce this window. New catalog. a G list that contain all. It is a list that hold a reference to the first element, and uh, we can jump from one element to another element using this list, this global list, and we can look through the nodes or the products in an ordered way. Now it's time how to add an element or an item to this global list. Fairly simple. We go to add a catalog, add product. So here we add a product to a list, but this time we want to add a product to the global list. So we need to use the fields um, for that. So what do we want to do now? We want to make this add or update function return the product so we can add it to the global list. So the prototype for this function is about to change. I'm going to go inside, and here I'm going to say this function is going to return the product. Okay. So here, if the adding is successful, it returns the product. And here also gonna return the product. But we need to make some changes to the add product function too. So here we're going to change the return type to product. We pointer to a product. So product type T. And instead of returning 1 or 0, we can simply return null here. And we can also return the new product. So that's it. It's time to update the prototype inside the main Github file where I can find it. It is here, add product. The return type will change to a pointer to a product, and updates, add or updates will change to the return type will change to a pointer to a product. So now we can go back and focus on our add catalog add product. Let's close all of this. Catalog add product. So this function is about to return a product, a new product. So I'm gonna create a variable named prod. I'm gonna set it to null. So the add or update, or I'm just going to say, okay, like that. So here, the add or update is either going to return false, or it's going to return, um, it's either going to return null, or it's going to return the address or a pointer to the product. Then we want to say add or update product. We pass in the pointer to the target list, the name and the price. And what else we can do is to check if the product exists, if the product has been added. So if the product has been added, which means the prod variable is not null, then we can say the cat num of products, we can increase it by 1. Actually, we did a mistake here, but not a big deal for now. So I can do all this code. We have a new product. We have the global list. And then we can add this product into this global list. So what I want to do would be to declare, I'm gonna define it as new prod. And here also, I'm gonna say new prod. Here also, we define it as new prod. Then I want to declare another variable called cursor. This will allows us to move through the list. Then here, the cursor will be set to the catalog global list. So the G list. So what we do, we loop through till we go to the back of the list. So here we have if cursor, then we can say while cursor. Remember, we need to use the underscore J next field instead of the next field because the J next field is intended for the global list, not for the others list we've already seen. Then we say cursor J next cursor equal J next. Then now we're good. It's time to edit the new product to the list. So what happened? It is, so the cursor at this point will hold the value of the last element in the list. But if there isn't any last element, then that means the list is actually empty, or the global list is actually empty. So what we want to do is to check if we have the cursor. So if the cursor isn't null, then the cursor J next will be equal to the new product. And that's one. Then the next thing is if the cursor is null, this means that uh, the global list was empty. Now this means the new fraud item is actually the first element in the global list. So we set the underscore J list to new prod. I forgot to say something because let's say we may have the add or update may return a new product or an old one. So how do we know that the new product isn't already there? So we don't want to add the same product multiple times inside the global list. So we want to make sure or check for that. So what do we do here? Inside the while loop, we can simply say if the cursor is equal to new product, meaning that if they're pointing to the same address, then we need to set the cursor to null. We're gonna set it to null and break out of the loop. So here not breaking out of the loop, but instead we're just going to return. I want to say we're just going to return. So if the item or the cursor, the elements, there is if it is an old, if the new product is not actually new, but if the cursor is pointing to a reference, to the same reference as new product, it means it is already in the global list. We don't want to add it twice. That's why we need to add this if statement here. So that's it for add product in the catalog. So what is the next step? We can update our print catalog, so it's going to display the content of the catalog in this in the uh, in the order in which the elements been inserted. So instead of using the list of the hash table arrays, we're going to use the global list instead. So here I'm gonna declare a variable, I'm gonna call it product type, and say this will be our cursor. I'm gonna set it to null, or maybe not. I'm gonna just set it to cat j list. So the cursor start from cat j list. Then next we say while cursor is in null, then cursor equal to cursor underscore j next. Then here it's time to print, but in order for that we need to include the stdio library. And now we can print a product. So this will have the name displayed and the price. Then here are the fields, the price, the name, and here we're done. So in order to be able to print the products in the order in which they've been inserted, we've added an additional field to support that. So like the G next field. So this is it. What if let's run this thing and look if it works. I'm gonna go in the main function, open the terminal, and run the compiler. Then let's see. Yeah, the things have been inserted and they have been displayed in the right order. So we have the cow milk, the oranges, the peanut butter, the banana, the mango, the strawberry, the orange, and the pineapple. So this is how we used, we added the capability to our catalog. So now we can display the order, the orders, the product, I want to say, the product with the right order, the order with which they, in the same order as they've been inserted in the catalog. Okay. Something will be interesting. What if you want to be able to display the catalog in the reverse order. That also is possible, but in order to support that, you might just go change the struct and add an additional field named um, J previews. So like that, product J prev, like that. So that way, uh, we're going to store the global list, but this time in the reverse order, the reverse way. So we can move forward and backward. So how do we do that? I want to go inside the catalog struct, and inside the catalog struct, I'm just going to add this field called JList reversed. And this will actually always be this will always be set to the last element in the global list. So how a new product get created, this get changed. Now we have the P J preview set to null. And I think that the P prev is not actually relevant, but we're going to keep it like that for now. Just to not break the code. So we added this, and now we have this JList reversed. So how do we go about that? When you create a new catalog, we need to set uh, the JList reversed. So to null, JList reversed to null. Okay. Then next, when you add an item in the list or inside the catalog, using the catalog add product, you need to update the J next pointer, and you also need to update the J uh, prev pointer for the new item. So what we have here, if cursor, then if cursor, then we set the cursor, um, let's say the new prod, I can say. The cursor next is equal to new prod, and the new product J prev. Oh, sorry. I just want to say the new prod J prev thing should be equal to cursor. Yes. So that way we can move forward and backward. And the last item is always, uh, we also have to set the cat JList reversed. Oh, sorry, I need to update that. It is J underscore JList reversed. So the global list. So that will be underscore JList reversed equal to new prod, because the new prod is always at the end. um, it's always the last one. So JList reverse. I'm gonna save it. There is an issue. I want to go in the header file. We have this field called JList reversed in the catalog. That's been saved. And here we have this JList reversed. Okay. There seems to be some kind of error somewhere. So we have this, the JList underscore JList reversed. This is always the last element inserted, so we can always go forward and backward. So if you want to display the list in a backward way, in a reverse order, you start using, you start from the underscore JList reversed and you loop backward. So that's it for this example, and it's time to create a function that will print the catalog in the reverse order. I'm going to copy the same function, the print catalog function, but let's add the prototype first. So print catalog in reverse. Or print catalog rev. So this will print a catalog in the reverse order. I'm just going to create another file called print catalog rev.c. Then include the header files, and after that I pass in the prototype. So the content for this function is very similar to the print catalog function. If you look at it, I want to just pass this here. Okay, on the left side you see the print catalog, and on the right side we have the print rev, the print catalog rev. So this will print the catalog in reverse order. I'm just going to copy the same code almost. So instead we have the product cursor. Instead of setting it to the J list, we're just going to set it to J list reverse. And while cursor, then the cursor, since the cursor is moving backward, we say cursor J prev. So this will move the cursor backward. And here we're going to include the stdio library because we're making use of the printf function. Then we have the printf function. We print the name of the product, the price of the product. Then we need to access the member fields. I'm going to format this code a bit, and that's it. So the print catalog in reverse will simply loop backwards, starting from the JList reverse. The JList reverse use uh, the product underscore J underscore prev pointer field. Now let's compile this code. It seems to work. I'm going to go back in the main function. and add the print rev catalog, the print catalog reverse. So print catalog rev. So this will give us something. I'm going to compile this code. And that's it. The pineapple displays as the first element because we're printing it in a reverse order using um, the J list field, the underscore J list reversed field. And I'm going to go back here. So what you can think of this as the head of the global list and the tail of the global list. You can think of it like that. And I want to refactor this code a bit. There are the prev field is not needed in this code. So I'm going to search and delete all of them. So I'm going to delete that. Okay. And the new product function also, we need to delete these fields we don't need. And we have this auto updates, we have this add product. Now we can try to compile this code. Yes, and still works. So that's it. We have the print catalog and we have the print reverse catalog like that. So this is a practical example of hash tables. So we constructed the data structure starting from tables, then list, then we built on top of list the hash table, then we created something called catalog, and then we implemented a way to have something called an ordered hash table.